What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel, and today I have an updated Destiny Hero deck profile for you guys. I know what you guys are thinking, why a Destiny Hero deck profile? Well, honestly, I've always been a fan of the Destiny Heroes for quite some time, and this version that I've built is so much more consistent than the last one, mainly because I was running D-Force, and D-Force really does nothing to the deck, especially given the fact that you're only running one copy of Plasma in pretty much almost every single Destiny Hero build out there. But I did implement one card that is so good in this deck, I don't even know how to describe how good it is. It's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. And there's not a whole lot to say about it, honestly. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys do, and you guys want to see more in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out. And if you guys are hearing music in the background, I've got Zelda's Lullaby on YouTube here on my laptop. No copyrights. You guys know how it works with the algorithm. Mental health can really kick in the ass, can it? But let's get straight into it. First up, for the one-ofs of the Elemental Heroes, I got the one Stratos and the one Liquid Soldier. I decided to run one Stratos because I decided to add a copy of probably one of the most insane cards out there, and I completely forgot how good the card was, and I'll explain that card once we get into it. But Stratos it's upon summon, it's a reciprocal effect, meaning no matter how many times you summon it, you're gonna be able to get the search out over and over again, no matter how many times you summon it. So that's why I only decided to run one copy. And then the Liquid Soldier, ooh, excuse me, typically is a one of anyway, which is pretty standard, honestly. But what's cool about Liquid Soldier is that it acts as a it basically acts as a second Monster Reborn, where as opposed to the two copies of Solid Soldier, it acts as a third and fourth Monster Reborn in the main. And what's cool about Liquid Soldier is that if it's sent to the grave by a fusion summon, then you basically get to Graceful Charity your deck. So you get to draw two and discard one, which in which cases, if you draw a Disc Commander, you're most likely going to be discarding the Disc Commander. So when you summon it, you get the free Pot of Greed, which is really good. And then of course two copies of Solid Soldier. Not only does this act as a double summon, but what's cool about this is that, as I said, if it's sent to the grave by a spell, you get to reborn one of your heroes directly to your field, which could be pretty much any hero you want except Solid Soldier, which is unfortunate, but it's a really good effect. And then of course we got the two copies of Shadow Mist. Obviously you're going to be wanting two copies because it helps you get into your Mass Change or your Mass Change 2, which is really good. Helps you go into your Mass Hero plays. To which I'm actually running 5 different Mass Heroes, and I'll explain what they are once we get into the extra deck. But that's pretty much it for the Elemental Heroes. These are like the main cards you need for this deck in particular, because they help you further your Destiny Hero plays, to help you go into your Mass Heroes, which is really good. And then for the Destiny Heroes, for the level 6 and up, we've got the 1 Dogma, the 1 Plasma, the 1 Dreadmaster, and then the 2 Malicious. Dogma can cut your opponent's life points in half during each of their end phases. Plasma acts as kind of like a sort of like a I'm trying to think. As a Thousand Eyes Restrict, where it can just basically just snatch steal your opponent's monster, and Plasma gains half of its attack, basically, which is really good. Dreadmaster gains attack based on the attack and defense of all of the Destiny heroes that they have on board. So if, for example, you have, let's say you have Dogma, Plasma, and we'll say I'll say Dominance. Let's say that. So that's what? Let's see. 3,400. And I'm on my calculator on my phone because I can't do math. 19. Malicious is 8. I did say Malicious. And then, of course, the Dominance, which is 29. That's about 9,000 attack it could potentially gain, which is pretty insane. And if you were to add Plasma's effect, and your opponent's monster, and the monster that you took from your opponent has, let's say, I'll say 4,000. That'd be 2,000. Basically, it would gain 11,000 attack, which is insane. Which could potentially help you win games, depending on how you see it. And then, of course, again, Malicious will always be Malicious. Not much else to say about that. For the 4-star Destiny heroes, we got the one Celestial. Obviously, you want to send this and Malicious to the graveyard to summon your Destroyer, Phoenix, Enforcer. That way, during your next turn, if you have no cards in your hand, you can banish this and the Malicious, draw 2, and you basically get the Pot of Greed effect, which is really nice. We got the 2 Destiny Hero Drill Dark. I decided to cut this to 2, mainly because I wanted, as I said, I wanted this to be a little more consistent. And what's cool about Drill Dark is that you're able to just automatically summon any Destiny hero from your hand that has attack less or equal to Drill Dark's attack. So because that Drill Dark has 16, you can summon cards like Celestial, cards like Decider, cards like Diamond Dude, Denier. You can even summon Dreamer, Discommander, or even Malicious, even though Malicious is a 6-star, which is pretty nuts. Then, of course, we got the 1 Decider. This card basically acts as a... I guess it acts sort of like a graveyard Stratos, so to speak. So, I'll read off its effect to you guys. Level 6 or higher monsters your opponent controls cannot target this card for attacks. You can only use each of the following effects once per duel. If this card is normal special summon, you can add a hero monster from your grave to your hand during the end phase of this turn. When a card or effect is activated that would inflict damage to you while this card is in your grave, return this card to the hand. If you do, make that damage effect to you 0. So if you're going up against, let's say, the Mystic Mind Burn decks, this card will basically help you not take any damage at all. And if it's on the field when it was normal, and if it's in the graveyard, even after it was normal or special summon, you're basically allowed to add any Destiny hero, any hero you want to your hand. Which in which instances in which cases you would think you're gonna target Stratos, right? No, you're most likely going to be targeting Solid Soldier or Shadow Mist, so you can get off their effects, especially the Shadow Mist, to get out your Master Hero, to get out your Master Change to go into your Master Hero plays, which is really nuts, absolutely nuts. Not much else to say about that. Then of course we got the 2 copies of Diamond Dude. This card is sort of interesting because it allows you to excavate the top card of your deck, and if it's a normal spell, you send it to the graveyard, and during your next turn, you're able to activate its effect, even if this card is not on the field. But if it's not a normal spell, it goes back to the bottom of the deck. So for example, if you triggered its effect and you got, let's say, Destiny Draw, you're not actually sending a Destiny Hero to your graveyard. You're just drawing 2 cards. So it's essentially a free pot of greed. It's essentially a free pot of greed, which is absolutely insane. Then of course we've got the two Destiny Hero Denier. This is sort of basic. This is sort of like your extender for the deck to help you go into your link plays, because what's cool about this is that when this card is normal or special summon, you can take one of your existing heroes from your deck or grave, or that is banished, place it on top of your deck, which would help you with your Destiny draw plays as well, which is really cool. Also, what's even more cool about this is that if you have a Destiny Hero monster on your field or in your graveyard, other than this card, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. So it acts as a monster reborn, and it's basically an extender. So if you have let's say Diamond Dude, you can summon Denier to your field, link them into, I'll say a Wonder Driver, and if you summon a monster to the zone that Wonder Driver points to, you basically can add any of your fusion cards to your back row, and you set it. That way, next turn you can go ahead and activate it. So again, Denier, not one of the best extenders, but it's a really good extender to help you further your plays, which is really, really cool. Then of course we got the 1 Disc Commander. Enough said. Disc Commander. Enough said. That's it. Pot of Greed. Enough said. And then of course we got the 2 Destiny Hero Dreamer. And what's cool about this is that this is basically your was it your Rainbow Karibo, I believe? Yeah. So this is basically your this is sort of like your, I want to say your like kind of like your Rainbow Karibo, sort of. This is basically the one way that you can end the battle phase, which is really good. So if you guys have never seen this card before, this was released, I want to say, was it Duelist Saga? I don't remember its initial release because it's been a while. But its effect reads, during damage cal, if your Destiny Hero monster battles and this card is in your grave, you can special summon this card from your. You can special summon this card, and if you do, your monster cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, you take no battle damage from that battle. If summoned this way, banish this card when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect once per turn. So the reason why I have 2 is because of that fact. It's because you're banishing it. Obviously, you have no way to use Dreamer to Exisa, or actually, you know what? Actually, there is a way. I'm actually gonna switch it up. I'm actually gonna switch up the side deck. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. Let's see. There is one card that can help. There's one Xyz monster that can help you go into your plays, which is really nice. I'm actually gonna go in, and I'm actually gonna put it into the, if I can find the right one. I'm trying to think of like what would be a good one. Or is there? No, I don't know. I don't know. I'm like trying to. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do a rank 1 Xyz, because I don't think I kind of don't. I don't think I do. Because to be fair, you're not using Dreamer's effect all that much anyway. So I think I'm just gonna leave I think I'm gonna leave the side deck the way it is. Or you know what? Yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna leave the side deck the way it is. Or you know what? No, you know what? I will take it. I will switch it up. I'm actually gonna put in the Luralisk Assembled Nightingale into the side, and I'll explain. And it's obviously because of the Dreamer Disc Commander plays, you know, that they have that you have. But or actually, do I want to? No, you know what? No, I'm going back to what I had initially. I apologize, guys. Guys, I do humbly apologize. But I'm gonna keep the side deck the way it is. But anyway, again, you're not using the effect all that much. Plus, what's even more cool about this deck is that there's a card in here. I don't remember which one it is. I don't remember which one it was. Oh right, Denier. I almost forgot Denier. You can actually use Denier's effect to put Dreamer back into the deck anyway. So it's a really nice way to extend the games a little bit longer with the Dreamer Denier combo, which is really nice. But that's pretty much it for the monsters. Moving on into the spells, we got the one that I talked about, Legacy of a Hero. If you guys have never seen this card before, this is basically a Moray of Greed but for heroes, and this was released in Duelist Saga, and its effect reads: return 2 fusion monsters from your graveyard to the extract that lists a hero monster as material. Draw three cards. You can only activate one Legacy of a Hero per turn. I do have a second one in the side in case if any of the heroes don't work out that well, or if they're bricks, then I can side them out for the second Legacy of a Hero, which is really nice. Which is really good. So you basically have what? You basically have what? 1, 2, 5 draw cards in the main deck, which is really nice. Then of course we got the 2 copies of Dr. D. This is basically a way. This is really cool because its effect reads: banish 1 Destiny Hero monster from your grave, add to your hand, or special summon a Destiny Hero monster from your grave. And then you can banish this card from your grave, target 2 Destiny Hero monsters you control. Choose one of those monsters, its attack becomes the other's attack until the end of the turn. So it's a way. It's a nice way to not to end games, but to help. Help out with Plasma as a way to end games. So if you combo Dr. D with Plasma, and let's say, we'll say your Destroy Your Phoenix and Force, let's say that. Basically, Plasma would get so much attack. In fact, let's say 19 and 25. Let's see. That's 4,400 plus Plasma's effect. We'll say the monster taken would be 2,000. you know, would be 4,000, so that'd be 2,000. 6,400, it would be able to deal, depending on the board state. So it's a really good card. Then of course we got the 3 Destiny draw. Basically it's your pot of greed. Not much else to say about that. We got the 2 over Destiny. This is another another really nice extender. So what's cool about this is that you can target, let's say your Dogma, and you can easily go into any of your 4-star monsters, like say Drill Dark, trigger its effect, summon Diamond Dude, Diamond Dude's effect triggers, get out, let's say, we'll say the Legacy of a Hero, send it to the graveyard, and you basically get to draw 3 cards during the next turn, which is really nice. Then of course we got the 1 Monster Reborn, not much else to say about that. And then for the fusion cards, there's actually quite a few. We got the 2 Fusion Destiny. This is basically the new addition to the deck. This card basically helps you go into your Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. And what's even more cool about this is that you can use the Fusion Destiny to summon the Phoenix Enforcer, and then trigger its effect, send it to trigger its effect, pop this card, and one of your opponent's cards, Phoenix Enforcer gets into the grave, and it basically becomes unaffected by the negative effect of Fusion Destiny, which is really nice. But what's even more interesting is that if you use Fusion Destiny on Destiny and Dragoon, which I am running in the deck as always, you can actually banish one of your Destiny heroes to resummon it. So it's as if you never even sent it to the graveyard to begin with, which is really nice. We got the 3 copies of Polymerization, mainly for cards like Absolute Zero, your Dystopia, and of course your Dominance. I am running the 1 Defusion. I may end up having to take it out. I may end up taking it out because I am running a Dusktopia, but we'll see. But I don't think I will. But of course for the mask cards we got the 3 mask change, and then the 2 mask change 2. I'm only running 5 mask heroes in the X check, so 1 each, you know, simple. Then of course we got the 2 Refusion. This is basically another version of Monster Reborn, but for fusions. And what's interesting is that you can use Refusion on a card like say Absolute Zero, or even a Dystopia. In which case, with Dystopia, you trigger its effect, and you get to deal your opponent damage right off the bat, which is really nice. Then of course for the traps, only 2. We got the 1 Defusion, and then the 1 Solemn Warning. Obviously, Solemn Warning, you don't want anything happening. You don't want your opponent to play. Solemn Warning will help you out. But moving on into the extra deck, I'm actually going to go from Fusion to Link, instead of Link to Fusion like I did in the past. First up, we got the 1 Destiny and Dragoon. This is basically a nice board wipe, and it could deal your opponent damage. Yes, it does lock you out of the battle phase, but as long as you're able to deal a good amount of damage, you're pretty much just off to the races there. We got the 1 Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. You're only running 1 in this deck. I thought about running 2 mainly to further the board wipes, if you will, but I figured just, you know what, only 1 works. Not much else to say about that. and plus, not only that, when you do use Phoenix Enforcer, you can actually resummon Phoenix Enforcer by its own effect back onto the field, and it's an axis sort of like an infinite loop, if you will, which is really cool. Which is really cool. We got the 1 Dusktopia. This funny enough, this counts as a polymerization with legs. So if you guys have never read this card before, if this card is fusion summon, you can fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. Once per turn, as a quick effect, you can target a monster on the field, make it unable to be destroyed by battle or card effects, and if you do, neither player takes any battle damage from attacks involving that monster. These effects last until the end of the turn. So it acts as a protection for the whole deck, which is really nice. Really nice. We got the one Destiny Hero Dominance. This card is so good. I don't know why people had slept on this card when it was released, but this card is so good. Obviously, it does require three Destiny Hero monsters, but off of a card like, say, Fusion Destiny, it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple to bring it out. But if you guys had never seen this card before, it's a 10-star Dark Warrior fusion with 2,900 attack, 2,600 defense, and as I said, 3 Destiny Hero monsters to summon it. During your main phase, you can look at the top 5 cards of your deck or your opponent's deck, then place them on top of the deck in any order. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can draw 1 card. If this fusion summon card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target 3 level 9 or lower Destiny Hero monsters with different names in your grave, special summon them. So what's cool about this is that you get to manipulate your deck or your opponent's to where if you manipulate your deck, you can manipulate it to where you can just end the game right off the bat, or manipulate your opponent's deck to where they have no choice but to break. in which it really doesn't matter because it's a double-edged sword. But if it's sent to the grave by battle or card effect, you can target 3 Destiny Heroes. Any three Destiny Heroes, and summon them. So you can basically summon. You could just summon Dogma, Plasma, and Dreadmaster right off the bat if they're all in your graveyard, which is just hilarious. So yeah, and plus, if it destroys a monster, if it destroys a monster for battle, you get to draw a card. Not much else to say about that. We got the one Dystopia. This card is really nice. It's a nice way to deal your opponent damage, but it also has another effect where it says if this card's current attack is different from its original attack except during the damage step, as a quick effect, you can target a card on the field and destroy it. And if you do, this card's attack becomes equal to this card's original attack. You can only use each effect once per turn. So it does. So you do have to have Dystopia gain or lose attack. But if you do that, you do get a nice little piece of removal, if you will, which is really cool. And then of course we got the Absolute Zero. Not much else to say about this one. This card could just Regeki your opponent's entire board, which is just absolutely beautiful. For the Mass Heroes, we got the one Diane. This card is really cool because it allows you to spam your board with another hero to your field when it destroys an opponent's monster by battle and actually sends it to the graveyard. So it's really nice. It's really cool. Then of course we got Mass Hero Divine Wind. This card basically acts as a Dark Door. If you guys have never seen the Dark Door before, I will actually read off the effect. The Dark Door. Here we are. Only one monster can attack during each battle phase. Mass Hero Divine Wind must be special summoned with mass change. It cannot be special summoned by other ways. Cannot be destroyed by battle. Your opponent can attack with only one monster during each battle phase. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle sent to the grave, you can draw 1 card. It basically acts as a Dark Door for heroes, which is really nice. We got the one Mass Hero Acid. This is basically your Harpy's Feather Duster for the entire deck, which is really nice. And all monsters that your board controls lose 300 attack, which is not a whole lot, but it's a nice way to get an advantage over your opponent that way, which is really cool. And then of course we got Mass Hero Blast. This basically acts as a compulse for back row. It is unfortunate that it's a compulse instead of an MST, but it's a nice way to remove any any floodgates that your opponent may have, whether it's a royal decree, whether it's a there can be only one, cards like those, unending nightmare or whatever. It's a nice way to just bounce them back to their hand and to be able to just combo off like that easily. And then of course we got Master of Dark Law. Do I have to say anything else? Do I say anything else about Dark Law except this card is nuts? Then for the Exceeds monsters, there's only one, and it's obvious, Gaga Cowboy. Obvious, the main card that you want to just end games with. When it's in defense, your opponent gets dealt 800 damage. No, it's a nice way to end games. If your opponent's life points are below 800, this card is basically one of the funniest cards you could ever play in a deck like this. Then for the links, we got the one Dread Decimator, the one Wonder Driver, and then the one Assault. I was running a fourth link monster, but I ended up putting it into the side. But speaking of the side deck, we got, again, with the side decks that I build, these are like my preferences, what I normally would want to use against decks like Drytron and whatnot. Side decks like these can really help out. So for my side deck, I've got 2 Ash Blossom, I've got 2 Ghost Mourner, and 2 Ghost Bell. Ash Blossom focuses on the deck, Ghost Bell focuses on the graveyard, and Ghost Mourner actually is sort of like an effect veiler. So if you guys have never seen this card before, this was one of the last Ghost Sister hand traps that we needed to complete the series. So its effect reads: if your opponent special summons a monster or monsters face up, except during the damage tab, you can discard this card, target one of those face up monsters, negates effects until the end of the turn. Also, if that face up monster leaves the field this turn, its controller takes damage equal to its original attack. You can only use this effect once per turn. So it's a nice way to further the amount of damage that your opponent takes, which is really nice. And then to round out the monsters, I got one copy of Destiny Hero Draw Hand. You guys are thinking, why? Why couldn't I have put this in the main? Truth be told, I had no room in the main for this card, so I ended up putting it in the side. But this card is actually not too bad. It's pretty decent. So its effect reads: if this card is special summoned by the effect of a hero monster, you can make each player draw 1 card. During the next standby phase, after this card was sent to the grave, you can special summon this card from your graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use each effect once per turn. Good. It's a good thing you've got the Gaga Cowboy. Excuse me. It's a good thing that you've got the Cowboy and of course the Denier to put him back into the deck, which is really nice. And then of course the link monster that I had in the main, in the extra deck. Sorry, the Extra Hero Cross Crusader. It's a nice extender for the deck, which is really cool. For the spells, we got the 2nd Legacy of a Hero, the 1 Called by the Grave, and then the 2 Twin Twister. For the traps, we got the 2 Solemn Strike and the 2nd Solemn Warning. All in all, I actually like this version. This version is a lot more consistent. It's a lot more better than the last one, because the D-Force really did nothing to the deck. It just helped make your hand a lot more brickier, if you will, when you added plasma to your hand. If you end up drawing it, it's not as bad. But if you added it off a D-Force and you have no way to summon it, it can just oftentimes be a brick. So plus you're most likely using plasma to summon out, you know, to summon out dominance if you're able to make it. But still it's pretty nice. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this deck profile. If you guys did and you guys want to see more deck profiles in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. All the links will be in the description below. And if you guys have any fan mail you guys want to send me, you guys want me to open it up on the channel, all the info will be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.